Welcome to the first episode of, or you could say the first podcast of Don't Compare Religions. Today we have with us Mr. Amarveda, and we are going to talk about the state of Hinduism or the current state of Hinduism. So let us start with the first question. Uh, People say this is the oldest religion. Hinduism is the oldest religion. So why is that?
The reason they say it's the oldest religion because there was none before that. In all other religions, there was a starting point with a single person. For example, Buddhism started after Buddha. Jainism started after Mahavira. Similarly, Christianity came after Jesus Christ. But in the case of Hinduism, you cannot have any person, cannot name any person who started the religion because it could never be started. It was already there. Starting from Adi Shankaracharya, he is the earliest person who did a lot of research on the religion. He divided the concepts in the religion. He did so much wonderful work. And then you have Ramanujacharya, and then much later Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all these great saints. But if you take each of whatever they wrote, we find that they are just giving explanation of whatever was already there. They didn't start anything new. So we can safely say that this religion has no origin, and something without origin has to be the oldest.
Okay. The people or our viewers might agree to that.
Yes.
Now let's move on. What is the origin of the word Hinduism, or as said, Hindu? Is it the name of the original religion, or it has been changed over time?
Yes. The word Hindu is used again and again to refer to the religion. But ironically, this word Hindu is not there anywhere in the scriptures or even before the Arabs. The word was not there. That means the word Hindu was coined by the Arabs because they were referring to a geographic region which was at the south of the Sindhu River. There were some issues with the linguistic of the Arabic language, so they didn't have the equivalent of C, and they used the word he, and it became Hindu. And some of this word became very popular for the lack of other words, and it's also very short. So people started referring to this religion as Hindu.
Okay. So for the information or the context of our viewers, can you tell us more about the Sindhu River? Like, where does it flow from? What is the exact geography of the river?
Yeah, the Sindhu River is in the, you can say it's in the northwest of India. Yeah. It is not in India at all, first of all. It is in Pakistan. And it's a mighty river, it is even holier than the Ganges River. But unfortunately, it has been lost to the religion forever because after the partition of the country, it has gone to another country. And that's the unfortunate part. But it is a really, really holy river, and it has strong references in many of the scriptures. And it's a pity that we lost that river.
Okay. So the river Sindhu, is it same as the Indus River, what the Western people call it?
Yes.
Indus?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So now as you have Hindu,
Cornerstone of the religion, like there's Bible for the Christians. There is each religion has its own book, but for Hinduism there is no single book. They have a library of books. Even if you go to the library and search every book there, I challenge anybody to find the word Hindu in any of the books. It never occurs anywhere.
That's kind of insightful. I think our viewers might be interested into that challenge, right? So okay, let's move on to the next question. Like everyone knows that every other religion which is into existence nowadays has a founder.
Yes.
Does Hinduism have a founder?
As I told before, it has no founder because it is ever existing or eternal. In fact, that word ever existing is called Santana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal, ever existing. It is more like God. So nobody could found that religion because, for example, if you say that who found light, for example, There's no founder for light. Light is always there. It's something like that.
Okay. So we have had much of the context around the religion now. Now let's move on to the state of the religion nowadays. So a religion mostly depends upon its places of propagation, from
Yes.
where the religion is propagated around in
Yes.
the people, in the masses. So we and some of our viewers and public, we have come across the reports that the numbers of temples in India is decreasing. What do you have to say about that?
Yes, number of temples in India is perceptibly decreasing now because you have the media, they go and take pictures and all that. But it has been decreasing at a far greater rate from ancient times. There has been a drastic, it has been decreasing in the geometric progression, if I can use that word. Okay, it has dwindled, decimated, and you can support it. If you take references to temples in ancient times, they are no more there. And even in my lifetime, I have seen it. I'm not referring to any other book or any other speech or anything, because in my childhood, I used to go to a temple, a Sri Ram temple in Chennai. Uh, it was very good temple. I used to go there before exams, to get high marks and all that. I used to go around and circumambulate and all that. The other day I went, I started crying because it's no more there. They has been replaced by shops, okay, by other religions. They've taken it, and I don't know what happened. Maybe because the priests there, they find it hard to maintain the temple, they sold it or something like that has happened. We can't find any trace of the temple, but only I see bags and clothing and all that.
So what do you want to actually say? Have the temples or the priests themselves given up the worship or the place of worship, or other religions might have a say on that or an effect on this phenomenon?
Yeah, it could be in both ways, because the government is taking so much of money from the temples under the HRNCE. That is a government body. I know most of the earnings of the temple are taken away by that body. And the priests find it hard to make ends meet. Maybe they sold it, that's my guess. Or, so many things could have happened. I really don't know what happened. But the result is the temple is not there.
Is it the same for every place of worship of every religion, or it does just apply to the Hindus?
No, we don't find any of the other religion constructions disappearing. In fact, what I find is new constructions are coming up. Everywhere I find glittering buildings are coming up, and you will see that even the famous old temples, the Divya Desams and those temples of Hinduism, they don't even have proper painting. Many things are being breaking down, but there's not even one construction like that. You can't find, at least in India, any other religion have such a religious place of worship which needs painting. They're all glittering, but this one needs painting. You see the difference?
I don't have words about that.
Yes.
I have seen that myself
Yes.
happening around me, around all over India. I come from the central India, what you call as the Deccan Plateau or the Western Ghats, and I've been to both sides of the country, the northern and the southern,
Yes.
and I see a big difference in the number of temples there.
Mhm.
So, do you have any information about that? Why is it so? Because north has a far greater area than the south.
Yes. Yeah, good observation. I like to add more mathematical thing. The far greater area is correct, but actually it's more than double the south region of the peninsula India, below the Deccan, below the Narmada River. So at least the number of temples in the north should be equal to the number of temples in the south, at least. But what we find is the number of temples in the south are far greater than number in the north. The reason is because they disappeared, like the one which disappeared in my lifetime. Hundreds of temples have been destroyed mercilessly, and the raw material from that have been used in construction of the structures of other religions, and that has been proved now because we find symbols of lotuses and other Hindu symbols being taken out, and they find it here and there, and even the deities of other Hindu deities are found in the structures of those buildings of other religion because they use the raw material.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's it.
Okay. You know, what I have also come across
Yes.
is that the same,
Yes.
what's happening with the temples is also happening with the population, the Hindu population. Like the
Uh-huh.
numbers of Hindus is also reducing. So, has it some analogy? Is it same or kind of the different thing?
The thing is, yes, people have also been destroyed. You heard about the invasions starting with Alexander. I don't know why he was called Alexander the Great. Okay, and there's nothing great about him because he destroyed the Zoroastrian religion.
That's something we need to discuss in another podcast, right?
Yes, it is really merciless destruction of a whole religion because all the books have been destroyed of Zoroastrianism. It's also a very ancient religion. The fire worship was, it's very much there. Okay. Now, starting from that, the Hindus, that is physical killing. And it spread more and more and more and more people were killed because they failed to convert. And then those who remained, they were driven to such a pecuniary poverty that they could not make ends meet and they were bribed, given posts or their children are getting admission in other schools and they get converted like that. So like that, more and more conversions are taking place. And also, going out of the religion is happening. It happened and still happening in large numbers. And we didn't have a concept of conversion. Hindus never had a concept of conversion. So there is no input. There is no input at all, and whoever is there are going out. So it's a very, very clear that number of Hindus is decreasing day by day.
So, what you want to say is that
Yes.
some other religions do have the concept of conversion and they're continuing to act upon it while the Hindus don't. And why is that? Because Hindus have been there for a very long time, and why don't they have?
Yeah, if you see the basic concept of Hinduism, it is not based on any belief. All other religions, they based on a certain set of belief, and if you believe that, you belong to that religion. Here, yes.
Can you give us a bit of example?
Yes.
Example about
For example, you got to believe that Jesus died for your sins.
Okay.
Only then you are a Christian.
Yeah.
In Hinduism, it is not like that. In fact, even atheists belong to Hinduism. Can you believe that?
How is that?
Yeah, because that is a system of belief. Okay, for them, it is not that you have to believe in something or not, you have to realize.
Okay.
So if I realize that there is no God, then that is a realization.
So you mean Hinduism is based on realization?
Realizations. So there is no question of conversion. You cannot say, I realized it, so you should also realize it. Otherwise you will put in jail. No, you can't say that.
Okay.
So that is.
Now we have also been around the topic of invasions, right?
Yes.
Around
Yes.
the invasions of Alexander, the invasions of the Mughals, right? So is there any history stating that the Hindus ever tried to invade any other territory or country?
Yeah, for the Hindus, their main focus was to get out of the earth,
Right.
to get moksha, not to expand the numbers on the earth and enjoy the earthly facilities. So when that intention is not there, there's no reason to go and convert somebody and occupy their land, etc., as done by other religions. So, with the result, what's happening is they never went out, but many of the lands got captured, and so they are getting lesser and lesser and going to a tight spot.
So I think that's so much of information for one video and one day. And I'd like to tell our viewers, if you want to see more of this, please like, comment and put your questions down in the comment box and we'll get over it in the next version of our podcast or the next episode. So it was nice talking to you, Mr. Amar.
Thank you.
That was great conversation. Hope to see you again.
Sure.
Bye-bye.